It's nice to meet all of you, and let's make this a fun one.
Yeah. So to give you the basics here, this is a fresh file run. So we are starting from scratch, and the goal of the run is to unlock the Law and Order second doctrine, which allows you to marry a follower and then marry them. But we are going to go through a few basically semi-tutorial things along the way before we get complete control. But that's part of the fun. So
I realize that even though this marathon is called the really, really long-a-thon, that I don't think, love is a process and marriage is even longer of one, but I don't think we want a marathon that spans years. So we're going to condense all of that down for you in a shorter for maximum enjoyment.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and start the new file in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Praise them.
Praise them. I am not turning on permadeath mode. That's an option for after you beat the game. It doesn't really work with our objective here. So obviously I try not to die. Please.
Love never dies.
It's true. So say hello to Lambert. Or you will in just a second when this is loading.
Just building up hype here.
So yeah,
Lambert.
This is Lambert. Is the last of his kind.
Aww.
prophesied to be the one who will rise and release the one who waits, which is a problem for the old faith, mostly represented. So on the left, we have Leshy, Heket, Kalamar, and Shimura, and they're known as the bishops of the old faith, and we're not friends.
By any means. We're not marrying them. Not gonna lie, though, they do be kind of cute.
Yeah. That's the thing about this game.
And
everything is kind of cute.
yeah, I know they're supposed to be spooky and stuff, and yeah, this game is definitely on the nose with its imagery, but darn if they're not super cute.
So, speaking of the one who waits, meet the new boss.
He's stuck.
So basically, do you want to start a cult? Yes or sure?
We sure do.
Oh yeah. And now, through the power of the Red Crown, well, things happen.
Things happen.
I mean, that is just adorable. You can't really say...
It is so cute.
Now, this is basically our combat tutorial, but the funny thing is, we don't need to kill everybody. All we have to do, really, is just run away.
Fighting is slow, and we have a smooch to give.
Mm-hmm. This is Ratau. He is a former vessel of the one who waits, and he's kind of our mentor figure.
He is also perfect.
Yep, very friend-shaped.
Absolutely. Move over, Kirby.
Well, I think it works on different levels. Ratau is cute and fuzzy. By the way, this is how we open our inventory. You're probably never going to see this again. Kirby is the soft and squish.
He is soft and squish. I feel like he would fit in here too, to be honest. He's kind of an eldritch horror.
You're right.
He would make a wonderful addition to this game. Yo, Massive Monster, if you're listening.
Yeah.
I got you.
Give us a squishy little companion, please. Another follower type.
Eldritch horror follower type.
We kind of get some of that already, but
More.
Always more. Gotta love more.
Mm-hmm.
We're always good for one more.
100. So I hope you all remembered that one coin that you saw in the inventory. It's going to be very important. And by that one coin, I mean, not just that one coin, but we're going to need a handful more. 400 at minimum, I believe,
Yep.
just in case.
Yep.
The whole goal here is if we can't get some good rolls, we're going to visit our buddy in the cap shop, and we're going to try to buy a bunch of gifts for our followers. Or specifically just one, because, I mean, it doesn't really matter which one. We could just pick at random, or, if chat wants to, chat fancies a particular follower, to be like, hey, what about that one?
Also, since we are doing this from the marathon and we are raising money for charity, if you want to name a follower or even name the cult, and you make a donation to the marathon or do a super cheer, whatever they call it in Twitch, we'll listen. Just let us know and get those donations in.
Yeah, it's going to the ACLU, so it's a win-win for everybody.
And we've already hit the $1,000 goal for the week, so come on, just let's get some bonus on there.
Got some extra change in your pocket. It's in a good place, I promise.
So this is
I
our
think I will
new
also.
home.
Oh, yes, easy. We pick easy mode for speed.
Yes, we are here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly. Even though it's the really long-a-thon, just, forgive us this one time. I'm sure, praise Shep. It's what they want. So
We've got a few different forms already unlocked because I own the DLC. We've got a few general follower forms.
they're all so good.
They're very good. Trying to think. Actually, yeah, terrifying megafauna, that works. So we're going to make our first follower a moose.
Look at his nose.
We're going with a blue moose. Oh yeah, big antlers. Big antlers are... Basically, we choose what job we give our follower, and in this case, we're going to have them mine stone. That's because stone is the slower of the two resources they can gather right now. And I guess we gotta feed them.
Food. Overrated.
It's kind of good, but that good, really?
A once in a while treat. I could be swayed one way or another.
Yeah. Clearing these not only gets us a little bonus resources, but when we get started putting things around here for the cult, the more I can get stuff centralized in certain areas, the easier it's going to be to maintain and keep an eye on some of the core cult functions. So we now have kind of what we're going to need to get going.
Fast access.
And we're going to go ahead and start with this cooking fire.
Oh, speaking of cooking fire, should we talk to them about accessibility?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So Cult
This
of the
game
Land
has that
features
spades.
a really good system of accessibility stuff. So in this case, in our settings, I'm going to take a quick look here. There's some general quality of life stuff like the screen shake sensitivity, text scaling, camera motion, being able to turn off animated text or flashing lights, dyslexic fonts, Roman numerals. But the big things I like to use are auto cook here and the enabling hold actions. That makes it a little easier for me to take care of stuff because I'm old and I get tired. And the mini games for auto cook and auto fish, they can get a little tiring. I love fishing. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Hades player. I'm always fishing. But, sometimes when it comes to making a bowl of food, you just kind of want to click the button, It's like having a microwave.
Nice. Set it and forget it. Especially since some of the bigger and more costly meals tend to shorten that bar. So if you're not paying attention, you could just wind up burning it, which will make everyone sad. And we don't want to make anyone sad. So
yeah, less waste of resources is very good. So it is time to go crusading again. That's basically what they call the dungeon runs here. So we're going to go into... Basically, this is kind of our launch area. And our first biome we're going to be checking out is called Darkwood. It's where we're hopefully going to be doing most of this run. Though it is possible we might need to open the second biome if we don't get everything we need during this first portion.
when we're talking about crusades and accessibility, I am very partial to the pause time in crusades option.
That
because
gets very useful, especially at higher level stuff.
Yes, when you have more followers, they're prone to having little accidents while you're gone, and some of them like to pick the bucket, and I want to be around for that. So stop what you're doing while I go and save the day.
Alright, so we're going to get rolling here. So again, combat looks basically like what we saw earlier.
You picked the sword this time, right?
You always get the sword as your first weapon, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that we determined, well, I say we, Cult of the Lamb Runners determined, just kind of trial and error and curiosity. Basically, your first weapon will always be the sword, second weapon will always be the axe, third weapon will be the dagger, and then as other stuff is unlocked, it kind of works them into a cycle. This is Clonic. He is our tarot card reader, and this is the one time we're going to do this during the run, because otherwise it will eventually force you. The tarot system is great for the upgrades you can get, but it can slow down the game a lot, especially with those pick your favorite option things. And particularly this sequence, where it basically makes you see all of the cards that you start with out of the possible unlockable deck. So, we've covered that. It's taken care of. We're going to steal some meat. And then we're going to get going.
I love the aesthetic in this room so much.
Oh, yeah.
And even though we can't stay, it's nice to pop in at least once. It's the same deal with another character that we'll meet later, because we're not done collecting MacGuffins, and there's always time to stop and talk about MacGuffins.
By the way, here's Leshy.
Leshy is my favorite. And we're talking about favorites too. Chat, if you've played this before, I know you have favorites. I know you have favorite followers. I know you have favorite songs and favorite shepherds. Drop that in chat, because I have it open and I want to read it.
Alright, so this is one of the types of rooms we can get during a crusade. Basically, it's all veggies and stuff that's edible. And now we're on to our first mini-boss. Well, once we go through the dungeon to reach him. Her? It?
Spook?
Spook is maybe? I don't know. It's just... It's kind of hard to determine the gender of a giant angry caterpillar.
The gender is fear. I think the mini bosses are a little bit more scarily designed than the bosses are. Just saying something. That's just me, though.
I can kind of see that, yeah.
And even though this is a clean file, you're still playing with the DLC active, so we're going to see a bunch of stuff that wasn't in the base game, correct?
A few things are likely to show up, yeah. Sorry, Kalenic. We've got problems to deal with.
Bye-bye!
Also, a warning, there is some self-harm kind of stuff in this game. This is one of those times. If you do not want to see that, absolutely reasonable. Close your eyes for a second, and when you hear the combat music start, there's a lot of woodwinds and kind of strummy strings in it. You can just kind of open them up again and know, okay, we're back to business. Yeah, this is ambitious. Like I said, angry kind of caterpillar launching acid thing. And that was ambitious. And now he's going on a little ride.
Bye!
Easy mode or not, I've been practicing for this a lot.
It does show.
We're going to go ahead and grab some wood here, because that's more resources we'll need for building.
The bosses are definitely where I struggle the most as a player of this game, because I rely on speedrunning tactics, and it gets me killed if I'm not, careful, and I can't do both. So seeing a well-executed boss is just perfect.
Remember, the first part of the defensive onion is always, don't get hit.
True. I still have a lot to learn.
So we're going to talk to Ratau here. It looks like we have a cleanup on aisle 3.
Again.
Do we have any suggestions for a cult member name here? Oh, it's not letting me do
Could
that
be.
yet. It's locking me into doing this part first. All right. I just wanted to make it nice before we, went off and did stuff, but okay. How's it look?
No chatters yet, but I feel like I kind of want to name this one Zell because Zell put up with all of my nonsense.
That's a fair point. So, let's see.
I think Zell has a fun, angry dog avatar, too.
That's true. Yeah, do this.
Oh, it's an angry cat. One of those. Bat? Glamorous sunglass? I don't know.
Well, we said dog initially. I can go with angry cat, though. We can make that one.
Dog isn't too bad of a choice, though, considering the extra option they have.
That's true. We can save that for our third follower, though, because they'll be coming up shortly.
Perfect.
There we go. That's an angry cat. Or at least a plotting cat, which I think is good enough.
Such a good color. I'm a big fan.
Clean that up. Seriously, stripe on the lawn. This will be our first mandatory structure. Second, I guess, the cook fire. This is the shrine. This is basically kind of where the things happen.
This is where devotion is stored. Devotion is stored in the shrine.
Oh man, we've got a bee.
Yes. My second favorite form.
I don't want to change them, but I do want to change the name.
What was the name? Silly.
It's like
The random names are just so
sometimes
odd.
They work and sometimes they don't. I think Anno the Bee sounds pretty good.
Anno Bee.
Anno Bee.
Oh, that's cute. I like that, yeah.
Go with kind of a nice medium blue here. I think, I think we're gonna leave them with the default expression because they look nice.
Yes.
And they can be bribed. That's always good.
Excellent. A perfect candidate for the ring.
So we'll go ahead and make them our worshiper, and we will receive our first divine inspiration, which basically unlocks different structures and kind of the tech tree. There's 2 upgrade trees. There's these divine inspirations, which basically affect the cult and what you can do around it. And then once we build our temple, which will be the next step along the way, we are going to have what's called the basically the devotion tree, which is more about upgrades for Lambert himself. Different techniques, better weapons, better spells when we start getting cursed magic.
Kicking butt harder 101.
Pretty much. Actually go chop trees. Thank you. Alright. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and put this right up front so it'll be easy to reach when we need to do our periodic check-ins. Once again, we'll get this going here. Now, I should mention that you saw we had to do a little cleanup here because we didn't have facilities yet. Unfortunately, the outhouse is tier 3, so you're going to be doing a little bit of janitorial work along the way.
Remember that bit that I said about how I like it when time is paused when I'm not here? Yeah, that was a big problem.
It does.
Getting resources to just find a place to relieve yourself was very obnoxious.
Yeah. So here's our first devotion update. So we'll
Praise
go ahead
him.
and
Praise them.
raise the lamb. We're going to gain half a heart here for our health.
Will come in very handy, I promise.
Yep. All right.
I love the little sound they make every time. Ah.
So we just unlocked the ability to collect commandment stones and do doctrines. That is basically the key to this run, is we are going to collect doctrine stones, or commandment stones, to do basically 3 doctrines, because there's one mandatory doctrine that you start the game with to unlock the bonfire ritual, and then there are 2 in the Law and Order path we need to unlock.
And the bonfire ritual does a great job of knocking out some of those early requirements. It's also the cheapest option that we have to boost loyalty. So as long as we can get the item that we need to do that, it's like a quick ace in the hole type scenario. We can just pop that, make people happy.
So like we mentioned, the second weapon's always the axe. The axe is a little slower. It hits hard, though.
I love the axe. So good.
I like it better than some of the options. I'm still more of a quick... I like fast hits and, quick attacks. I'm kind of a finesse runner.
You are selling me on the dagger. I did honestly give it more of a chance last time I played, and I think it's growing on me more than it was.
Sometimes it's nice to just, lean into it and just zap a bunch of people really fast.
Right? Especially if you get the tarot modifiers for it, you turn into a blender, and it's really fun.
So, we mentioned curses briefly. Guess what we're about to get?
Oh boy!
Curses are basically our ranged attacks for this game. There are a few that are more like centered AoEs, and there are a few that we just kind of cast as like a cone attack, but basically this is our option for reaching out and touching someone. Alright, so we got an attack rate up. You can see we've got a few more options for the dungeon this time. So,
no cat shop.
No cat shop, but we do have a couple ways we could do this. I'm going to go for the follower. Resources are already being gathered for us, otherwise that would be tempting too. But this is also our fastest trip to the actual battle with the next mini-boss. So,
good point. Oh, it's the cow!
It is the cow.
Yes. Also a very good form.
You can't see me waving goodbye to them as they drop into the portal, but I promise I'm doing it.
Aww. We will see you soon, new friend.
Now we're going to go ahead and we're just stealing a little bit of devotion from Leshy because he doesn't need it right now.
No. We'll put it to better use for sure.
Oh yeah. And we've been offered an upgrade to our curse, which I'm going to go ahead and grab.
Oh, nice.
And we even get a nice little coin there for that, because recycling is good.
Recycle today.
We are meeting our friend Haro.
Yes, here is our other giver of MacGuffins.
Haro is basically the lore drop character. When he shows up, he will explain things about the setting, about the different bishops of the old faith, a few other things.
And these stones that Haro is giving us will help us put together the commandments that we need.
Yep, these will help us declare our first doctrine. Like we mentioned, it's kind of a preset one, but that's okay. We'd work with that.
One step closer to the smooch. Harshen our vibe once again, Leshy.
It's true.
Angry bush friend. Oh, you got another tarot room too? That's funny.
Yep, they really tried to throw them at me here.
What's that? We're trying to extend this run really, really long?
Well, sometimes.
Oh, yes, the bones. Good. Oh, no, it was a morsel. I lied.
Yeah, we get morsels first. Basically, when the spiders get dropped by a chest, the idea is you catch them, you chop them, and they become meat to make followers tasty dishes. Or at least, like, you know, broth. Broth is nice, though.
True. Very true.
Alright, so got a new follower. Ah, good. Got a flower necklace.
Nice.
That will basically let us give it to one of our followers and generate more devotion, and we get an extra commandment stone fragment. So this pretty much worked out exactly the way we wanted it to.
Probably work extra well for that follower that likes bribes.
Yep.
Give the gift.
What we'll do is we'll wait for them to unlock the loyalty mechanic, and then we'll give that to them to boost their loyalty along the way.
Perfect. Oh, I love it when a run comes together.
Also, it turns out the one who waits is kind of a micromanager. Who knew?
I also didn't get a chance. Oh, no, go for it.
Oh, no, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I didn't get a chance to touch on it when you walked in, but there was a room in that run, that crusade, that had a big river running through it, which is one of the new rooms that were included with the DLC. They have their own physics, and they'll push you around a bunch. Also, they're very fun to look at.
Yep. We're going ahead and building a few beds for our followers.
Sleep.
You know, it's kind of nice to do.
If I had to choose between food or sleep, I think I would pick sleep.
Okay, that's just close enough to Elmer's glue that I think I have to keep that. We'll just brighten up the white a little bit there.
That's really funny. I didn't even put that together.
Nose ring? Yeah. Nose ring's good.
True.
Naturally obedient. Very useful.
Ooh.
You automatically gain additional faith. So I'm going to tell them to help us build some things after they sleep. And our other mini-boss, Valafar.
This one, every time I look at it, it just looks like Grimace from McDonald's with a stick in his head.
Yep. So we got Murmur as the name. I think, yeah, Narwhal. Narwhal. We're going Narwhal here.
Narwhal. Very good choice.
Purple Narwhal? Yeah.
Yes. If you have to ask, the answer is purple.
Yeah. So, you know, some nice little freckles. We've got quite a few of the naturally obedient and materialistic followers so far, which is great.
They're speeding this up for us too much.
I'm not going to complain, though.
Valid. Valid.
So I am going to go and just work on building a few of those beds that I ordered.
They're just plopping themselves down on the dirt.
You know, at least the sleeping bags will be something a little easier for them.
Mm-hmm. I need to know, though, how does one break a sleeping bag?
Zippers.
Oh.
I mean, that's not what they show them doing, but zippers. It's totally zippers.
No one has a fork to fix it with. Damn. Oh well.
Yeah. One of the things you do run into sometimes is that it will tell you that, you know, a bed has broken or collapsed or whatever, and you have to put it back together until you get to a certain point on the tech tree.
Stuff in this game is notorious. Mm-hmm.
That thieving critter stole my wood, so we're taking care of that.
Perfect. Thief. Do not steal from Lambert. Yeah, no, this game is notorious for stuff just breaking on you at the worst moments. Though I don't know if they fixed that for the DLC. Okay, well, that's all I need to hear.
Yeah. So one of the reasons I waited till daylight to do this is you can actually lose faith from your cult if you wake them up in the middle of the night to do something. But we're going to go ahead and do our next sermon, which will get us our next upgrade. In this case, I'm unlocking Bane weapons, which basically are poison weapons.
The best modifier.
It's up there. And then once this finishes, we'll declare our first doctrine. Be another good chunk of the way. So we're going to be declaring the bonfire ritual. And this is another one that can boost faith quickly if we're losing it. There are actions you can take that will lose faith from your followers. So you generally want to make sure that everybody's happy.
Not a sad face or a frown in that crowd at all.
Now it's time to gather the bones of our enemies. We're actually going to want about 100 bones to complete the run, so, you know, never hurts to go and pick up a few extra.
Which is part of the reason why the run time for this run tends to fluctuate, because Lambert can be very rude with the chop rates. Especially if you're just like cutting grass and stuff.
Yeah. It is a game where you can reach out and touch grass, but how much you get out of that is a question. So in this case, we get our first Bane weapon, the Bane Axe.
Oh, perfect.
If I had not unlocked the Bane Axe, the next weapon would have been called the Trader's Razor, and it would have been our first dagger. Let's go ahead and gather that. Put a little extra wood here. This is fine.
Out of all the Old Faith members, I think I had the hardest time with Calamar.
Calamar is tricky. For those who are curious, they also line up to Leshy being see no evil, Hecate being speak no evil, and Calamar being hear no evil. So, you know.
But then we have two more.
It's true.
Think no evil, be no evil.
He kind of failed on that one, I think.
Someone didn't get the memo.
No. By the way, yes, I am shooting eldritch tentacles at people. It's fun.
Very fun. It's one of my favorite curses for sure. Other than the AoE ones that get people off your back, like the tentacle one is just so good for building a wall.
Alright, so we collected a decent bit of bones there. We've got a decent bit of grass, which is also a good building material. And now we're going to make an offering to this...
Oh.
Well,
I dislike this thing the most. There's just something about it that just is so unsettling to me. Wow.
Then, I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna just kind of grab a few things and then run. Because, he gets a little upsetty if you try to hand him his own money back.
Yeah, just a little. Shakes angrily over there. Time to leave.
So, we've got a friend here that we just smacked in the head. Check a few of these to see if anything drops. Not really, that's okay.
Tried to peddle us with tarot again.
They did indeed.
The bad drop.
We're up to 33 bones, which is excellent. We're gonna, definitely enough for the ritual and a good start on our goal of 100. So we're going to run through whatever it throws at us here, and we'll see what kind of rooms we get.
Perfect.
Cat shop.
So on,
There we go.
so on top of the bones that we need. Oh, cat shop. Perfect. We also need, what, 10 followers? In case we need other biomes, right?
If we need to unlock the next biome, we want to have at least 10 followers.
Mm.
That said, you know, right now we're doing pretty okay with that. So we got a commandment stone here.
Excellent.
And that will be good to help us move ahead. So we're going to go now to the heart room here. There's a couple forms this may take, but
I don't like these ones either. Oh, you got the good one. Okay, nice. Look at them. Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like really sweetly romantic and also really messed up. So basically like most of the rest of this game. These blue hearts I'm getting are called hollow hearts, and basically they give us the ability to, well, have essentially armor.
We just don't get it back.
Yeah. They can't be healed. They can only be replaced if you run into more. We're also going to have a chance here to get a couple diseased hearts, which just happened. The diseased hearts basically will do damage to your enemies when you take a hit.
Similarly, though, we don't get them back.
Yep. Also, that's the Screaming Bell, which was introduced as part of the new DLC. Somebody decided that we needed a thwomp and it needed to be terrifying.
Headphones warning.
First time I heard that thing, I basically almost fell out of my chair. I'm not a fan. You probably guess.
The first time I heard it was on one of Archer's streams, and I was equally concerned.
Yeah.
I was also wearing headphones.
Right. Doing pretty good here. Alright.
Sonic, we don't want any. We love you, but we're good.
I don't blame him for trying. Were we not doing a speed run, I would happily, you know, visit his store and do commerce. But
exactly.
You know, we got priorities here.
Exactly.
There we go. Got that last bone. Sword 2 versus Bane Axe 1. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Axe, my beloved. Goodbye. Recycled.
You never know. We might get something else. There might be another one in here. I wouldn't complain about getting an Axe 3 upgrade.
How high do the upgrades go again? Is it like 9 or 10?
Oh, higher. In the base game, they went to about 14 or 15. With the DLC, you can now get weapons. I'm still working my way through the DLC and some of the post-game experiences, but I've gotten level 24 and 25 weapons.
Ooh. So far cry from what I was thinking.
It is pretty hardcore, yeah. What did we say? This doesn't have poison, but the bonus damage is worth it. Sometimes they just hand you a bigger axe.
Yeah, Lambert was listening. Praise Lambert. Thank you, Lambert.
more bone drops here, which is too bad given that we are actually in a field of bones, but you know, this happens.
Misleading. Not
This
as
is
advertised.
Barbatos is, I think, maybe supposed to be like a millipede.
It is not friend-shaped.
Yeah, no. But
It's okay, though.
You know, you hit it with an
You
axe
fixed
enough
it.
times and it goes away.
You carve away the scary bits
Basically.
until you're only left with friend.
Alright, so we've got another doctrine. Or another commandment stone here, so we'll be able to do another doctrine. We will have to do a ritual first, just with the way they're making this work. But this is going very well. We are actually having a very good run here.
We're not even that far along, are we?
I want to say we're about 45 minutes in, give or take.
What's your PB?
My PB was 57 minutes.
Nice. Wow, that's really short. The estimates that you gave me were a lot higher.
Well, that's because the last 2 times I did this, a lot of things went wrong.
Oh no!
And now we have the power to read minds, because sometimes you want to be a micromanager too.
There's gotta be a reason why everyone's doing it.
You know, sometimes you just want to really know what someone's thinking. Besides, part of our job is to keep our cult happy, so, you know, it all works out.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a follower asking us to do a quest.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, we gotta name this.
If I had a name for chat, I would always name chat the Hearts of the Faithful.
That is a pretty good one.
Chat, what is a shepherd without a flock? Do you have any suggestions? Really long occult?
Yep. What do you think?
That's pretty good. A very, really long occult.
I would go really, really long occult, but unfortunately it's one of those things where they don't... There's a limit on the number of stuff you can do, so we're going to go ahead and unlock a farm plot. Eventually we are going to need to keep feeding these guys more.
Food. Cringe.
You know...
Just sleep more, forehead. Oh, I also had an idea, actually. For our next follower, we should name it ACLU.
That's a good idea.
Because that's the reason we're here.
You know, you're absolutely right. And funnily enough... Wait.
If there are any ACLU members in chat, I'd be like, yo, what ACLU... Oh, nice. Okay, I see what you're doing. Which animal does ACLU take? Which form? If you were to think of ACLU as an animal, what would it be?
With the options we have, I'm kind of thinking possum, because their entire job is to scream at people when they're doing the wrong thing. Oops,
Okay.
I randomized that the wrong way. That was my fault. Still going with possum. Kind of like the look of that. Yeah, let's go with the violet possum. That sounds pretty good.
I never have complaints when it comes to purple.
Give them a little product in their hair, and there we go.
Fantastic. Rocking that pomade. Look at them go.
And we're going to send them to go and collect some stone. So, now we're going to go to the temple here. Basically what I'm going to do is do the sermon, then I'm going to do the ritual, then declare the doctrine, because doctrines usually have a 24-hour cooldown. And if we do the ritual to raise everybody's faith, this will help us kind of get to the point where we can grab a few more commandment stones, either by follower loyalty, which unlocks after this, or by pushing it with the dungeon runs. So now we're going to do our law and order. Our first one is basically, is murder okay? And for now, we're trying to be positive here. We're going to go with the Ascend follower ritual. This basically
That was my
lets
choice.
us send them to a higher plane of existence and then gain loyalty. This can be very useful depending at the point of where you are in the game, but we're going to wait on doing more than that so far. And here's Ratel again. Now, when he says the true power of the Red Crown, what he really means is, I want to go play dice games and gamble with you. But, you know, close enough.
It's very cute. And they're more or less the same thing.
Yep, it's true. Alright,
What was that game called? Knucklebones?
Yes.
Actually a pretty addicting distraction.
It is a game of champions. We've got that going. We're going to make a couple meals here just to give our followers some hearty meat broth. This will help with their hunger, which is starting to get towards where it needs to be done. You know, just kind of take care of your people.
I was very surprised to see that the detriment to that meal, you know, them pooping instantly. I don't like how this game puts a huge emphasis on that later on, like in the later game. You just like you use it as a resource. So not only is it gross to think about, but you're also like, I actually need it though.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We've given a gift. We've given a blessing. We've made more beds. We're gonna go
What a
ahead.
benevolent ruler.
Sorry?
What a benevolent ruler.
Yes, thank you. I can... Yeah, that's all I can do for him today, but tomorrow may be a different thing. So what I'm actually going to do here, rather than start another dungeon run yet, because I'd kind of like to set it up, we only need one more dungeon run, and we can end the run with the fight against Leshy, is meditate. This basically makes the day go faster.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not know that. I have never done this once outside of a dungeon run.
This one's like one of those tricks that we don't always use, but basically we're just speeding up time a bit. The downside is we're not actually doing anything.
But it's incredibly zen.
Yeah. Oh, looks like he wants to talk to us about something.
The fast waddling is so good.
Oh, looks like we gotta do some cleanup work. Let's see. Oh no. That's unfortunate. But on the upside, since he was already fairly high loyalty, by cleaning this up and then collecting the loyalty bonus for finishing a quest for him, we may be able to get that extra piece.
Perfect.
Let's go have a word with him. There we go. So, we get a little extra devotion, and we get another piece of a commandment stone.
Our faith was justified.
Indeed. Basically unlocking farming so that we can actually like have our followers take care of our crops if we plant some. And not actually planting any, but that's okay.
For another day.
I've already blessed him. Can't give him another gift yet, but I can clean things up. So just take care of a couple things here while they go to bed. Very good. Then we'll go visit Ratau during the night here and pick up a couple things. By pick up, I mean steal.
No one will ever know.
Nope. So we now have follower forms that can take a rat form. It was very nice to plant these berry bushes for us. I'm not using the berries a lot in the recipes because they are one of the foods that can make the follower ill if they eat it too fast, basically.
And this early in the game, we don't have what we need to make people feel better.
Yeah, there is a way to open up basically what's called a sick house. Eventually gets turned into a sick bay. But you can basically just have them sitting there while you give them some herbal medicine and then they get better. First things first, we're going to pick up this big gift. I can't imagine why we're going to use a big gift.
Verdict's still out on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a little time tonight. We'll go ahead and play a little. We'll play a game of Knucklebones here.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's
show
go.
this off, and then we're going to go back and finish the... we'll get our bee friends' loyalty up, and then take the dungeon to finish the run, hopefully.
More Shep is best Shep.
See what we get here. Right now, Ratau is really outrolling us, which is annoying, but the upside is we have some things we can get that we can start counterplaying.
So the way this game works, that in the way I understand, is that you are building pillars of dice, and the bigger your numbers, the better chance of you winning. But if someone rolls that number and puts it in their like a counterpart pillar, it gets rid of the dice that you had, so you have to start over.
Like that.
And the goal is to have the highest number. Yeah, kind of like that. And Ratau has bested me on many occasions. It actually took me a long time to get through the Knucklebones section, but it is very fun. And Lamb makes great faces.
Now you have won.
Not a bad way to spend the day. Or Tao just wants to do this all day. It's whatever.
This also unlocks another tarot card for us, which is useful, where we're able to gain another heart during a run. If it comes up, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to gamble on it yet, because the new day is about to begin.
Eventually, Ratau will invite more friends to his house to play with, and they all cheat in their own fun little way.
They
That's
also
right.
drop some interesting lore here and there, which can be fun.
Mm-hmm. There's so much lore in this game, and it's all great.
We have bought his everlasting loyalty with a muffin.
Ooh.
Funny how that goes sometimes.
You know, can't blame Murmur. Really can't. A good muffin?
Good muffin is good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about why I'm getting a body pit. It's fine.
Don't question it.
So we're going to tell another sermon. You can see we can't cast a new doctrine yet, but that's okay. We're going to go and grab stuff from Leshy here, but we specifically want to get... I'm grabbing this Might of the Devout because it'll mean we get higher level starting weapons. The other option is more curses, and that definitely works too, but since we are going for the first biome boss, I figure let's kind of give us all the advantages we can.
Always want stuff to be in your favor in case things start going wrong.
So, looks like we got a cat shop for one of our first room options. That's great. That also helps us out. We go ahead and get our Trader's Razor for the first time. We get our Divine Blast.
Very good.
Off we go.
Behold the unholy blender.
Okay, we literally just talked.
What do you want now, you creepy bush?
We just talked.
Stop texting, Leshy. I get it. Gonna have to turn the ping off, Leshy.
Wow, that's a lot of guys. I'm just saying. Like, thanks for all the bones. He sent more dudes, so we went ahead and just collected all the bones we need for that next ritual.
It looked like Leshy was being really annoying, but actually just wanted to help out.
I guess so. He did kind of do us a solid here.
Leshy's a real one.
Sort of.
I also definitely have to hand it to the developer. I went out and I bought the vinyl for this game, and there's just the soundtrack is incredible.
It is so good. I really hope we actually get a second final release for the new tracks that come with the Relics of the Old Faith DLC.
Yes.
Because they remixed a bunch of the biome songs, and it's really cool. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do. I know which way we're going. We're gonna start with the cat shop. And I could finish the commandment stone right here, but I can't help myself. I have to get the follower form. And then, just kind of slice and dice my way through her stuff and see if any more gifts drop. Like that one.
Perfect. Everyone is helping.
Lots of small gifts. Excellent.
I don't think I've seen that many drop before at once.
We got a little lucky. And I'm gonna go ahead and buy the tarot card from her. It's the least I can do to say sorry. I'm sorry I ransacked your wagon.
She didn't seem too bothered.
She didn't, but it's good manners.
We can't read her mind either, so gonna have to use some empathy for this specific instance.
Alright, so enemies are going to drop poison, but we also get double gold. Once again, it sounds like the best plan is just don't get hit.
We can recoup that gold we just spent on that tarot card really easy.
This is true. Got another hollow heart. Oh, and it's one of, if not the best NPCs in the game.
Yes, oh my god.
He's a fish. Or man.
The fake nose and his mouth is on his head.
And there he is, just like, could it be? Also, we're totally stealing some of those fish. Not the ones he's catching. We already worked out a deal for that. But, you know, just a couple more.
Running through the game, there are modifiers for Lambert, where you can draw poison too. It is very helpful later on when enemies like to just invade your personal space.
Yep. You get the squirrel form.
I'm glad you said that's what that was the last time I watched you play this, because honestly I thought it was like a coyote or a dingo or something. I've never actually used it either. Some of them look a little bit ambiguous, or I can't tell what they are. But then when I hear other people play with them, I'm just like, oh, well, egg on my face.
You know, some of them are very stylized. I remember one of the practice runs where we couldn't... Somebody thought the moose was actually the elephant, and I had to show them the elephant follower to be like, no, a little different. Ooh,
just a
dagger. Bit. Yeah, we'll take some extra poison damage. That'll do.
Yes.
And then, basically, I'm going to go grab some stone before we go fight Leshy. Could have gone for the veggies too, but we're in pretty good shape with our veggie supplies at the moment. Well, it's fruit at the moment. We don't actually unlock a lot of veggies until the next two biomes, but, you know.
Produce.
Yes, we are going to the produce department after this. The night is falling, that's okay. We can work with this. The time system is actually really good for both kind of as a way to pace and measure things, but also the fact that they actually have certain situations where you do more damage at night or have better defense during the day, things like that. Just depending on what you unlock.
Now, a question I have about that is, since I haven't gotten a chance to mess with it yet, if I were to turn off the crusade timer, and would it stick with a certain time of day?
Yes, it will basically remain the time of day that you began the crusade until you leave it.
Okay, which is super busted because there are tarot cards that will give you increased stats during the night or the daytime. So if you got one of those cards and it just stayed that time of day,
yeah, you could absolutely make that work.
That's awesome. I thought it would be a little too busted, and their way to like measure that and like keep it in check would be to keep time flowing. So if I got a day card, it doesn't work at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but if they're just gonna let me keep it, then hey.
Yep, it just totally freezes time. So we're going into the Leshy fight here. This is another one of those warnings for self-harm. Basically, there's going to be kind of a sacrifice thing going on.
As cults, you know.
Kind of do.
Yeah, if they feel like it. So,
I would advise anybody who needs to look away just to look away from here until you hear the fight music. There's going to also be a big roar when Leshy gets into his final form.
I'm not sure I've ever wanted to hear a bush roar at me.
I generally don't advise it.
Walk the other way. I know he's supposed to be scary, but he's still kind of cute.
No, I'm not judging. I'm just here for the food.
I didn't think he was cute when I was fighting him because he did kick my butt. So my opinion has changed since.
We got him.
He did a splort. But if you're a fan of Leshy or any other Old Faith member, you will get a chance to see them again if you do play the DLC. So I highly recommend it if you haven't yet.
Right, we got another piece of our decorations.
Very pretty.
For now. Got our final commandment stone and a trophy for killing Leshy. So we're going to come up on time here in a minute. Time is going to be on the marriage ritual when we kiss the partner.
The smooch!
The time is basically on the smooch, yes.
Good.
We're just going to collect these other bones, because, you know, waste not, want not.
You just extend the run a little bit longer. You know, just in the spirit of things. Heretics defeated.
Yep. Micromanaging.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly micromanaging. I mean, it was at least nice of him to say good job, but...
What is a shepherd without a flock, chat?
Enjoying their weekend?
Okay, just this once. But then they have to come back and praise Shep. You did the vacation doctrine.
Yep. This actually isn't even a joke. There is totally a vacation doctrine. Alright, we'll go ahead and do our sermon. We'll do our doctrine, we'll do our ritual, and that will be time, so...
Well, while we're getting up to that point, I did want to say thank you for having me. It was very fun. I love this game to pieces, so I'm always ready to talk about it.
There's our wedding ritual. Up. Everybody's happy. Alright, any interest from chat on who we should marry?
Well, we had definitely Mike say a sheep. So, I'm sorry, definitely Mike, but we cannot smooch ourselves. It's not how this works.
One of the plot points is they did kill all the other sheep. So, you know, bit of a bummer.
A little bit.
Yeah, let's go with this. We're gonna kiss the ACLU.
Yes. Time. Smooched for charity.
All right, and we did get that Heart of a Heretic thing. Basically, that lets us upgrade one of our abilities. In this case, I'm going for the one that would give us a diseased heart at the start of every run, just because extra armor that also hurts the other guy is nice.
Gotta cash in that Spencer's coupon for the edgy perk.
Indeed. And because we got married, we unlocked the Lovers too. Fidelity demands sacrifice.
It's true.
So, I want to go ahead and thank a couple people here. First is Lee, aka 20-something loser, who first routed this run and showed it off at Frost Fatales this year. And I basically was like, holy crap, can I do that? And she was like, yeah, if you want to start running this, go for it. So I've been basically learning this run and refining it since February, having some pretty good runs and pretty good experiences with that. I want to thank Brightstar for doing commentary and the really longathon team for letting me do this and getting to do 2 runs during this marathon. It was really awesome. I appreciate it. And want to go ahead and thank the ACLU for fighting for being treated as equals and being treated as equal under the law, because trans rights are human rights, queer rights are human rights, women's rights are human rights. And there are people that are trying to make us forget that, but it is still true every day. So thank you for the work they are doing to try to protect others. And last but not least, just want to say hi to my girlfriend Catherine, who's watching me and playing Tears of the Kingdom, and mostly playing Tears of the Kingdom, but that's okay, because I would be too if our positions were reversed. I love you, and it's always nice to be able to share this with everybody. So thanks again, really appreciate it. And I'm assuming they'll probably pull the plug on us in a few minutes. Well, actually, probably pretty shortly here. So
Well, thanks again.